So today I'll be showing you guys the newest and best lineups for every single map. They are my own lineups, but by all means you can tweak them and make them into your own lineups. I will also show how to throw the poison orb onto the default plant, so you don't even need to enter site and risk dying while trying to exit the site to go to your lineup spot. I won't be showing any one-ways, as Jinzeld, the VIPER Prince himself, already made a guide that covers pretty much every single one-way you can possibly think of, so I'll leave his video at the top of the description. But without further ado, make sure your brain has at least 1 TB of memory space available, and if you're not a VIPER main, good luck. It's important you guys use high settings, otherwise some of the lineups might not work. Starting with Icebox A default, the closest lineup is gonna be on A pipes in this corner. Right next to the rope there's all this smoke, and you just want to aim on the black line that's right below. For the next lineup, place yourself in front of this grey line. For the orb itself, remember this intersection, and you want to aim in the middle of the black line that's above the intersection.
What?
There is no debate that this is definitely the best orb for a site. I mean, the enemy can literally see jack shit. And for the snakebite, aim in the middle of this intersection. For the next lineup, you want to stand in the middle of this wall. Throw it in the middle of those 2 lines. And for the lineup, you want to aim in the middle of this black line. For the last lineup in A site, stand in front of this lamp and aim on this black spot. Before I show any of the lineups for B default, I need to share this amazing attacking orb. Look where the line meets the yellow container and make the left side of your HUD be in line with that spot. For the first and closest lineup, go to this corner, and the reference point is going to be on this black line over the white circle, and this is going to be with the right side of your HUD. The next lineup is in this corner in mid. You want to use the middle of this curve as your reference point, and line the left side of the HUD that's on your right side with the same spot. Next lineup is besides B hut. The reference point is kinda hard to remember, but it's at the top of this triangle. You need to use the right side of your HUD for this lineup. The last lineup is very good if you're pushing from mid and you plant on this spot. Once you have planted, hide in this corner. For the lineup, you want to aim on this line. You can also rotate to defender side spawn, jump down, and use this gap and shoot like this. Moving on to bind, the first default plant is gonna be on A site, in front of the tank. For the orb itself, go to this corner, and this square is gonna be the reference point. Make the line go on top, and then left click. This orb can be used for post plant and also creates a one-way for people pushing the boxes. The closest and safest lineup is in this corner. Once you're in the corner, aim next to this curve. The next lineup is in T-spawn. Crouch down and aim just above this cloud. The last lineup is in front of this box. Crouch down and aim right next to the middle of this leaf. Alright, for the default plant in triple box, go to the same box and you're gonna use this as your reference point. Once the right side of your HUD is in line, jump and left click at the same time. And for the lineup, go to this side of the box and you wanna aim between all the leaves, like in the middle. From T-spawn, use this corner, just below and to the left. And for the last lineup, use this corner as the reference point. Line it up with the left side and shoot. There are many lineups I'm gonna show simultaneously for B site, so this is gonna be the reference for B long. this is mid container, and this is for hookah. Starting with the poison orbs, go to this corner. For B long, line this edge with the middle of this curve, so around here. Jump and left click. For mid container, start from the middle of the line and then move to the same curve. And lastly for hookah, throw next to all those black spikes. First and closest lineup is located next to the teleporter. This is the reference for B long, mid container and hookah. So B long, mid container and hookah. Next lineup is by the fish painting. Look up to the sky and make the cloud be in line with the roof. For B long, it's above this line, so just about here. The reference for mid container is here, and this is for hookah. You also need to jump for those two, but you don't have to jump for the one that's for B long. Starting with B long, mid container and hookah. The lineups I'm about to show is a bit more difficult to remember. If you look closely, the cloud is disintegrating in this part, and if you aim under that part, then that's for B long. And for mid container, just aim at where the cloud begins, and for hookah, just a bit to the right from the start of the cloud. Starting with B long, mid container and hookah. The last lineup spot is inside hookah in this corner. For the lineups to work, you need to crouch down, and you also get more cover from B side. For B long, you want to aim between the plank and roof, so around here. And the reference to mid container is this black line, and for hookah it's this plank. For mid container, place the reference point between your poison orb and toxic screen ability. The same goes for hookah, just a bit below. Starting with B long, mid container and hookah. For retake lineups, go in front of this barrel. This is the reference for B long, and this is for mid container. Starting with B long and then mid container. For triple box in A side, you want to aim right next to the black line, so around here. And for the tank, you want to place the gas meter on the bottom right side of the square. So this is for triple box and this is for the tank. Moving on to split, we're gonna start with default plant in B site. Starting with poison orb from garage, aim where the blue wall meets the tower and a bit to the left, and then jump and left click at the same time. Stand in front of the more greyish part of the wall and aim just to the right of the black spot, then quickly peek and shoot. For the next lineup, go to this corner and make the gas meter be in line with the top of the pallet and then a bit to the left. The next lineup is very good for retake and also post plant. Aim at the top of this dark leaf. Another good lineup for retake is in this corner. Aim on this orange screen and then jump and left click. For the last lineup that's in heaven, simply shoot this wall and it will hit default. For the default plant next to the double box, I know two lineups. The first one is in this corner, and here is the reference point. Line it up with the right side of your HUD that's on your left side. And for alley, simply aim at the banana and then shoot. If you plant on this side, then there's only one lineup. This time the reference point is at the top of this curve. Once your HUD is in line, you can shoot. For A side, there are so many different default plants, but I'm gonna cover each and every single one of them. Stand in front of this flower pot to begin your headache. For default plant behind the screen, the poison orb is gonna be in the middle of this blue light, and the lineup itself is gonna be just above the right side of the light. For default plant in elbow, aim just above the start of the blue light. And for the lineup, aim at the bottom left side. For default plant in backside, aim at the top right side and throw the orb. And for the molly, aim so it's in the middle of this line. So just around here. However, if the spike is planted in the middle of the wall, in backside, then aim the orb in the middle of the light. And for the molly, aim a tad under the middle. If the spike is planted here, then for the orb it's gonna be at the top of this leaf. And for the lineup, if you imagine there's a line between those two, then you want it to be in the middle and then a bit to the left. For open plant in front of screen, aim the orb at the middle of this empty space. And for the lineup, at the top left side. And the last default, open plant in the middle. The orb is gonna be in the middle of this line. And for the lineup, just above and to the left. To do a retake lineup from ramp, stand in the middle of this line, crouch down and aim in this intersection. From heaven you can shoot next to the sea in crown, and also on this line. For the last and most difficult lineup, go to this corner. Imagine this is a circle and you want to fill the circle with your crosshair. Jump and left click. Moving on to Haven, there isn't a lot of lineups for B side, but I'm still gonna show the few that exist. First one is from A-Link, aim in the middle of this shelf. Next one is from mid window, obviously you can do either side. And the last one is all the way back in spawn and then at the top of the bell. And for the poison orb, just make the tree be in line with the top of the bell and then jump and left click. For the default plant on the left side, you can go to this corner in C-Link, but bear in mind you are a bit exposed. This corner in the middle of the plank is gonna be the reference point. Line it up with the right side of your HUD. You can also shoot from mid, but only the right side. Or you can stand next to this flower pot in T-spawn and aim at the bell and then a bit to the left of the mountain. For C site, this is the reference for box and this is for long. The first and closest lineup is gonna be by this door handle in cubby. Just above the middle of this plank is gonna be the reference point for box, and the reference point for long is gonna be in the middle of this line. Starting with box and then long. Next lineup is gonna be in front of this wall. For the poison orb, the corner of this leaf is gonna be in line with this white line. Jump and left click. And for the molly, just aim at this bump. For default plant in long, stand in front of this black line. For the poison orb, you see those two leaves and you wanna aim on the right side one. Jump and left click. And for the snake bite, this is gonna be the reference point. Once it's in line, you can shoot. There's also a lineup from mid doors, go on top of this box. For default plant on box, aim right next to this leaf. And for long, you wanna aim at the top of this leaf, crouch down, and then jump and left click. Next lineup is gonna be in this corner. The reference point is under this white circle, so on this line. Once the right side of the HUD that's on your left side is lined up, you can shoot. The next lineup can be used for retake and post plant. Right next to this plank is for box, and in the middle of this line is for long. Now for the best retake molly, which was found by Jinzold and is gonna hit C cubby, look at the planks 1, 2, 3, and it's gonna be on that corner. Aim the part that's sticking up on your HUD on that same corner. Enemies trapped in this corner will die if they do not wide swing. The last lineup spot is gonna be under this metal. This is the reference point for box, and this is the reference point for long. For box you need to use the right side of your HUD, that's on your left side. And for long, you use the left side of your HUD. Alright, for A site, this is gonna be the left side default, and this is gonna be the right side. This corner is your go-to lineup spot, and it gives you nice cover from long, but you do need to watch out from people pushing short. For the left side poison orb, aim just above the corner of the rooftop, and for the right side, aim just below this curve. To do a molly for left side, aim the same corner and line it up with the middle of those two planks. Remember to crouch down while doing so. You don't need to crouch down for the right side molly. Simply aim on this corner, right next to the windows. Although in between the window and the plank isn't a default plant, this is still a nice spot to plant because you can shoot them from long and also from short. The closest lineup is in this corner. Aim just below this corner. For the lineup from long, go to the same corner and aim on this curve. And when the molly runs out, you can cover from short or from long. For retaking A, this is gonna be the first reference point, which is just below this line. And for the second lineup, it's on this yellow part of the wall. Alright, this is for short, and this is for denying plant. For the last retake lineup, which is under the same metal, this is the reference for the right side, and this is the reference for the left side. So once again, left and right. And then it was Ascent. For B default, the first lineup is gonna be in front of the fish box. Here is the reference point. Once the left of your HUD is in line, jump and left click. And for the snake bite, you need to jump up, and you will also get more cover from mid. If you look at the sky, there's this open gap, and you want to aim right next to that. Next lineup is in B main in this corner. For the poison orb, aim right under the tree and jump and left click. And for the molly, aim right above the tree. Another easy lineup is in this corner. Go a bit to the right so you can see the ventilation and aim to the left side of it. For the next spot, go on top of the pizza. For your poison orb, aim above this part until you meet the cloud, and then just above. Jump and left click. And for the molly, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just a bit to the right. The last lineup, which is for retake, you want to aim above this part until you're in line with this leaf. On A side, there are 3 different default plants. 1, 2, 3. This is mid-gen, this is bottom-gen, and this is double box. For the poison orb, stand on top of the top right corner. For double box, you want to aim on the small piece of cloud, which is also gonna block the vision for heaven. For bottom generator, aim in the middle of this area. And lastly, for mid generator, aim right next to this cloud. The first lineup spot is gonna be in this corner. For double box, simply aim on this corner. Here is the reference point for bottom generator. Once the HUD is in line, you can shoot. And for mid generator, the reference point is right next to the tip of the white line, so around here. Once the down part of the HUD is in line, you can shoot. Next lineup is in the corner of a vine. For double box, aim just a tad left from this part. For bottom generator, aim in the middle of the black wire. Mid generator is just below. The next lineup is on top of the staircase in mid cubby. Look at this white square and you will notice this small black dot above and to the right. And the second reference point for double box is right on this shit. Starting with bottom generator and then double box. For retaking A, go to this corner. Here's the reference to double box, mid generator, and bottom generator. Once again, double box, mid generator, and bottom generator. For the last lineup spot, which is gonna hit double box, go all the way to spawn and stand right next to this lamp. The reference point is gonna be on this curve. Once the right side of your snake bite ability is in line, jump and left click. And that was all the lineups. This video took a long time to finish, so I would really appreciate if you guys liked the video and subscribe if you aren't already. I worked so hard for this and I strive to continue being the Viper King for you guys because of all your support. I hope you guys learned something new today, and if you want to learn more, you can always join my Discord server, which now has over 2,300 members. And again, thank you guys a lot. We're closing in on 20k and I can't set word on how much I appreciate your support. And we even hit 1 million views on my channel, which is just mind-blowing. So thank you so much. Until there is a new map, don't ask for no more of this shit. But until next time, stay toxic.